everybody. It's Nolan with SYNQ. We're here in the RCS Q-Buster booth with ControlTek.
How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. We were thinking about how we were going to resolve locking showcases. Locking showcases are just an awful experience. What are your thoughts?
Oh, terrible experience. I think, in asset protection, sometimes you feel like it's the only option you have because you're losing stuff and you need it for the customers. But, from a customer perspective, it's a horrible shopping experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing, I saw an article last week about Oreos being locked up, and it's just getting out of control.
Yeah, toothpaste, I remember it wasn't too long ago, I was out travel a lot like you, and I needed toothpaste and go in and it was locked up. It took like 10 minutes to get toothpaste.
Yeah.
And, well, you would think it's only toothpaste, it was only 10 minutes, right? That's what I said to people. It's like, no, I had to wait 10 minutes to buy an item that I think cost $2, $3.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Dollar Shave Club.
As customers, the behavior was, if I buy razors, I have to wait. This is just the way it was.
Yeah, good call.
And then Dollar Shave really opened up the idea. It's kind of the same in the Amazon effect, is if I have to wait 10 minutes to buy something, actually forcing the customer to another channel.
It's tough on the associate, right? I mean, you got frustrated customers, it's not their fault, but to your point, what does loss prevention have but to just lock everything up when the loss is as high as it is?
Yeah, and associate is, I think, that people don't remember. And we have an office in Northern California, and for whatever reason, I seem to at least once a month forget a charger. I always have 100 devices with me, and I went to a very, very large establishment to get a charger, and I immediately thought of you standing there, and the associate and I were talking, and he didn't have the key. And he's apologizing. It was like an $18 or $19 charger, but he said everything's locked up. And the experience for the associate, the employee experience, is horrendous because they're the ones that unfortunately get the brunt of the customer. And I wasn't upset. It actually was really nice. We had a great conversation. I wasn't in a rush. But again, it was a bad experience. And there really was no reason for it, at all.
Yeah.
And then all I felt at the end of it is kind of the difference between the toothpastes. I actually felt bad for this guy because he's apologizing profusely and says, and I said, how often does that happen? He's like, all day. And he's like, we only have one key, so I have to call someone. And this was like a concept store, so a fairly small, very modern store, and everything in electronics was locked up.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we just lock everything up, it's easier. And it was Northern California, right? So understand the challenge, but aside from the bad customer experience, it really creates an employee experience. And imagine his day every day having to apologize profusely because someone bought something.
For sure.
And luckily we had really great banter, but afterwards I left and said, we always think about how it affects the customer, but the employee side, I'm sure that guy literally sometimes has some really bad experiences with people that aren't happy.
Yeah.
That don't want to wait.
Yeah.
And it is. Today, time is really, really important to everybody, and to wait 10 minutes for something you just bought is a horrible experience.
Yeah, agreed. And it's interesting, if you think about a locking showcase, that's effectively technology.
Yeah.
So if we think about the technology side on the notification, that's what do we got, like a call button, or just finding an associate? What else is there to get help in a store when it comes to this stuff?
Yeah, and I think call buttons today, it becomes kind of that noise in the ceiling. When you press it, it actually becomes white noise because they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
You have kids press it and walk away. So I know in my past we used call buttons in an off-price environment, and it was fitting room based, and when you had the right staffing, they would respond to, right? It was that people did, but when you didn't, then you had this other challenge. Again, that employer, the associate experience is just as challenging. I'm trying to help someone here, I hear that announcement, I need to run there, the phone is ringing, I'm doing all these things, and that actually opens yourself up to a shrink exposure, because if a bad guy knows there's only 3 people working, I can hit that button, I can actually move around.
Good point.
So they really can take advantage of that situation. I've seen that, and I think sometimes, to your point, it's the only option, right? I don't have any other option. If I don't put this call button, then I have a customer looking for someone. But I've actually physically, in my personal experience, seen people take advantage of the call buttons, especially when you're in a store that, if you have 10 people staffed in a decent-sized store, it's a distraction. And if you're really keeping track of the metric and following it, people are, I got to get to that button. I got to get there to get that. Associate has to get there to help the customer.
Yeah. And then for the customer, you don't even know they're on the way. And for the associate, you don't know who's actually helping the customer, and it becomes many customers being serviced by one or none.
Yeah. And even the headset, I think a lot of retailers have went away from the announcement over top to a headset. But then to your point, it's who's going, what are they stopping what they're doing, And that's the productivity gap. Like, I'm stopping what I'm doing. I'm stopping, whether I'm stocking, helping someone, you're stopping that activity to do another activity. And it's human nature, right? I need to walk, I need to start over, there's distractions. And that's like the handheld device is like in your hand. A lot of people lose them, and that's one of the things I also hear is like, oh, I went to help a customer, I put it down, now I can't find it. And it's all those little things that exasperate because of something being lost. Yeah. So it's definitely a challenge.
Is there a better way, Tom?
I think there is.
All right, let's take a look at this. So let's pretend that this is actually a real live showcase in a store and you're our customer. Give that QR code a scan.
All right, we got it.
So on that QR code, we'll overlay this on screen. So you've got some products that you can select. And this would be kind of at the point of checkout. So we're in the store, you've got a physical basket in your hand, and we're going to overcome the locking showcase by developing an electronic basket. So basically like an e-commerce order in store, but it's an immediate e-commerce order. So go ahead and select some product that you want, and I'm the associate today with my Zebra device.
So first, I don't need an app, which is what I like, right? Like I don't have to download anything. I click the QR code, it happens right away. And I'm just going to get one thing because that's kind of how I shop at this point. And I'm done. Very, very fast. And we're at the NRF Big Show where the internet is not fun and it's still really fast.
Yeah, so I was the associate. I just got that ping in Microsoft Teams. So I've got an adaptive card in Teams. So 2 taps on my Zebra device and I'm into your order. So your order today. So we've got your order here on A1 in the store. And as soon as I hit manage this order, it's going to lock me within Microsoft Teams to say, I'm the associate picking this. And if you happen to be an associate, say, I'm going to pick this quickly, but I'm already locked in, we're not going to have that duplication issue that we have with radios. And I don't know if you saw on your phone, but you're actually being updated in real time in terms of the progress of my pick. You've gone from review order down to that progress. And when I go into here and I say, I'm going to drop it for the customer, it shows that you actually asked for it to go in a locker. And this is going to automatically then provide me a locker to select. We're so confident in this, we'll actually put the device in there. And this is going to stay open a little bit longer because it's a trade show. We're going to say, take a look at that whole thing, but that's completely touchless, right? So as an associate picker, I don't have to then find my locker. This is pick to light. If I had 5 items to pick, we'd be yellow, blue, green, pink, orange, and I go in and I sort those. That door's going to be closed, and now as the associate, my job is done. I don't have to do the walk it up, lock it up. I'm done and over, and we simply just got to get you to go and pick it up for us. So now when you go to cash, because of the cadence and flow of product in your request time, you're just going to scan the barcode that's on your phone. And then once you scan that barcode, we'll move it over manually because we're at a show. It's now going to move you over to from an unpaid to a paid component. And now you see that you've got an I'm here button.
Yep.
So you'll see we don't have like a kiosk or anything in here. You're just going to hit I'm here. That locker is going to illuminate for you. And it's going to just illuminated blue now. So this just shows you this is your locker, and when you are safe and ready to do so, you open up that locker.
Yeah, I click the button. Much like I am in real life, I don't like to wait.
Absolutely.
Which is what I really like about it. So Nolan, what if you're, because we talk about this all the time, and we work together on this, you're not ready to put a locker in. What can we do today for
Great call.
That doesn't want to put a fixture in it? And I say the word locker, and I know you and I talk about this all the time. It doesn't matter. It's you're replacing your fixture. So this is just an example. It could be any form factor, but let's say we want to do a pilot or a test right now, and we already have a locking fixture. What will we do together?
That's a great call. And really the locker is really, as you get more advanced, you start doing more transaction, necessitates the need for it. But to your point, when you start these types of programs, this is just drop it at customer service desk. We probably already have that type of environment already within that lock it up, walk it up space. They're going to escort you to a till or to maybe a customer service desk. This is the perfect opportunity to say, it's going to be at the service desk location, guest services, some type of express checkout lane, etc. And we can communicate that right on the customer's device to say, wayfind yourself to this location. We've got your item. It's picked up and ready to go.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's kind of important for at least when we first met and started talking about this, that this solve, that's the one solve. Also, like the automated refund, like you want to return something by yourself. I was at a retailer not too long ago, and they literally had a box. That's what it was. Like you could tell it was a prototype that was built with a little T-stand that said, drop your return here. And I was online with my kids and my wife, and my daughter said, like, well, if you drop it there, do you get a receipt? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, it's on the honor system. And she was like, yeah, but how do you know if they find it? How do you know if you get it back? And, my 11-year-old daughter is going through all of the challenges where really great idea, right, from a customer standpoint to make it quicker, but that unknown creates a challenge where something like this, you can eliminate that whole entire thing by going in, even using that box and scanning QR code saying I put it in there to get the notification. So I think this is really anything that today has to go under lock and key, there's a solve here.
Yeah, I know, and I actually don't like the word locker, frankly. I think that there's enough bad negative noise in the space that lockers are a bit of a challenge. I think it was a rush to market, like a lot of things always come into the sphere. It's post office boxes with an ATM machine. So we think about this as a physical UX. Everything that you stand in line for at customer service or in store, that's returns, that's vending, that's service, that's rentals, all those pieces. You can now take that and you can transform it into a digital journey because you have a physical UX versus, quote, a locker.
Yeah, and then the buy online, pick up in store piece, I think, is the thing that resonates with anybody who does it, of where they have actually physical lockers where they have to actually have someone go and pick them up. So they're actually turning a key, dropping a bag with someone's name on it. They get it right away because they're going like, wow, I can get away from that.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think it's really anything, it's the UX or the UI over anything that's locked today. And the QR code really makes a big difference because I think a lot of the other solutions out there require you really big backends, app deployments that are not daunting for some retailers. They're really impossible from a resource standpoint to integrate, do all of these things. It actually takes away from it. So this is a solve for that as well.
Yeah, and to your point on the use cases on a locker, there's the same amount of use cases on using QR codes to turn your customer into your best associate. So this is a locking showcase demonstration. High cube is massive, right? So all those barbecues, patio sets, and things that are high cube display only. We just have a display out. It's display both for a loss prevention perspective perhaps, but also from a labor and a productivity and a warehousing scenario. But it also comes down to resolving other frictions like scanning holes for out of stocks. How many times do you have that story whereby you say, I drove past 3 stores to come to this store because I checked the online inventory and it said you had 4 or 7 or whatever it was, and the home is empty. To turn your customer into that best associate is a really powerful tool. And then there's things that we think about in retail that we might have thought and had a convention that this was a service-based model, like a full-service deli. There might be those instances where you just don't want to stand in deli or the line is quite long. This is an ability, again, to turn your customer into the best associate, generate that request, and then go about their day shopping in the store and building 2 carts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably like the thing that old pull card mentality is. You go grab a card to go up and buy it and it's not there. That's like a horrendous experience. It's also an old experience, right? Like from when we were kids going to buy something that was big, you get that little postcard and go up. So this answers all of those things. So
yeah, for sure.
Very, very cool. Excited for today to see who comes by. So it's good to see you.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, man. Cheers.
Cheers.